Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back to On Texas Football, and welcome back to the Winning Drive. I'm lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers. Pleased to be joined by the young prodigy, lifetime Longhorn C.J. Vogel, and our own coach, former high school football coach at Burning, Capel, Brownwood, Belton, Rotan. I met somebody from Rotan, Coach, actually at one of our events earlier this week. They gave you a shout out. I also played football at Abilene Christian, coach there as well, and was on the staff at the University of Texas for multiple head football coaches. Now you catch his work at ShipleyRanches.com. It's our own coach, Coach Bob Shipley. What's going on, Coach? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm just on the road heading into Dallas for our little meet and greet this evening.
Come on, Coach.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I'm my Dutch camp, but I'll have my orange OTF stuff on tonight.
Oh, man, it's going to be fun. Yeah, it's the last stop on our Texas tour. Glad Coach is going to be a part of that DFW crowd, and it's going to be packed from what I hear as well. So it's been going well. Shout out to Vince Young, who came out. Royal Lobby came out to the Houston, Texas tour with our friends over at Third and Longhorn. So it's been really fun meeting all of you guys and getting a chance to put some faces with some chats and some of those names. And so it's really, really cool. Also, we'll get into a lot of other topics here on the show. I want to talk some March Manning. I want to talk some Texas, Ohio State because we're really close to it. I want to ask Coach about strategy. Before we do that, though, C.J. Vogel is out amongst the people, as he always is, and he's getting eyes on one of the top prospects coming in to this Longhorn 2026 class.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll give you all a bit of a view, but behind me is North Crowley and Allen. They're scrimmaging right now. They'll be live on the field next week to begin their season. And so folks should know North Crowley, home to John Turntine, the five-star offensive lineman in the Texas 2026 class, and then a number of really talented youngsters on that North Crowley team. They won state a year ago, and they, quite frankly, look like a team that might be even better defensively. Another name to note, Jerry Outhouse Jr., Elijah Juan Fat Houston, that's his name, is a safety, 2027 as well. Both of them hold Texas offers. So, Rod, eventually you're going to have to be watching their huddles and giving us what you think. But right now they all look good. And Turntine looks like he's building back up after losing some weight this offseason, moving around well, looks unbelievable in pass protection.
Okay, I just want you to repeat the names of the DBs because I just want to make sure I write them down. Repeat them, please. Who else should I be looking at?
2027 cornerback, Jerry Outhouse Jr., electric name there. And it gets even better. They got a safety, Elijah Juan Fat Houston. And so he goes by Fats. Both of them, they play the same side of the field. And let me tell you, Allen has tested them. They've come away with maybe as many receptions as I would have had on you, Rod, back in the day. It's not very pretty. And the two of them playing together is really impressive. Also,
man,
a long ways away, but North Crowley 6A state champions. They might be starting a freshman cornerback as well, Braylon Cunningham. I've heard unbelievable things so far about Braylon Cunningham. He's a 2029, but altogether that North Crowley secondary, when you add in Aaron Bradshaw, who Texas kind of toyed around with, he's a safety currently committed to Texas Tech. It might be, it could be, it should be the best in the entire state.
Wow, that's great. Okay, I really want to talk to Elijah Juan Fats Houston. Is that the name? I gotta talk to his parents. I just want to meet him. Yeah, I want to meet these people. If that's the name, right? Elijah Juan Fats Houston. Did I get that right? Oh man, that is phenomenal. Damn it, that makes me feel like a lazy parent. I should have did better coming up with cool names for my kid. All right, thanks for that, CJ. That's a great update there. All right, before we dive into it, and CJ is only going to be joining us for a short time because I think CJ's got to get back to watching. All right, get back to watching some of these guys and getting eyes on them. We appreciate CJ joining us. I want to get you guys' thoughts about one thing because we haven't talked since it happened. But when Art spoke to the media, and you actually were there, CJ, at the player availability, when he spoke to the media, he revealed that his grandfather, Archie, actually maybe spoke out of turn or without talking to the family, getting confirmation that it has not been settled that Arch is guaranteed to come back in 2027. The the question was asked, and I thought it was kind of a done deal that he would be at Texas for multiple years, and he probably will. The chances are that he will, but he is just saying it's more of a day-by-day thing, and we evaluate as we go, Coach. It is not something set in stone. When you heard that, Coach, what were your thoughts about it? Because that was probably the most surprising thing about the player availability, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I think it's a pretty big deal, because if it wouldn't have been a big deal, he probably wouldn't have touched it. Because you're in training camp, you're trying to keep the team focused. I feel like that since he felt the need that he needed to address that, it's certainly better that he does it now rather than, after the end of the season, because that's everybody's would jump on his grandfather, for saying that. So I think honestly, my gut feeling is that, yeah, that's a pretty big feeling. Is that he's just going to do exactly what you said, Rod? At the end of the year, see where he's at. If he has the Heisman and he has a national championship, that's what you've always predicted, Rod. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think he just walked it back a little bit. Just don't want that hanging over him, at any time. And if he has an incredible year, and those two things happen, but I don't think it would happen without those two things happening.
Yep. CJ,
right. I feel like it's a 1-2 step, right? You almost have to achieve both of those boxes to entertain it. Now it's attainable, no doubt about it. But it's interesting that it's been blown out of proportion the way that it is, and it makes sense, right? The quarterback at Texas, it's a Manning. But we hear guys all the time talk about, hey, I'm draft eligible this year. Do I think I'm going to go to the NFL? Well, we'll see. We'll take it day by day. So it's a very common answer. It's just magnified because it's Arch Manning. But I think he handled it well. I've seen folks say, the family tree, the communication's off. But I think ultimately, behind the scenes, the plan is for 2 years. But to your point, Coach, if he comes out, lights the world on fire, lives up to that number 1 overall billing, what more does he need to show if everything goes according to that plan? So it makes total sense for me. But ultimately, look, we'll take it day by day too. And right now, I'm still planning on Arch being at Texas for 2 years.
Yep. I think he will be there for 2 years. Like I said, I think that's the likelihood, if you're looking at the track record of the Mannings, of course. But, hey, I'm with Coach. I hope it's a one and done. Now I'm rooting for it more than ever. One and done. I don't want Arch here for that long. I don't want to enjoy Arch Mania that long. I want it to be one of those things you get, boom, and then championship, Heisman, and we'll see you later. And I'll be very appreciative of him and all of his efforts. All right, let's thank our first sponsor before we move on, our friends over at Von Lane. We appreciate Von Lane because they also are our traveling sponsor for our Texas tour with our friends over at Third and Longhorn. They actually been shipping both the Owen Texas football staff and family, and also our friends over at Third and Longhorn to and fro from Austin to Houston, and from Houston to Dallas, and probably back to Austin from Dallas as well. So we really appreciate Von Lane, and you will as well, folks. If you've got to get from one city to another, and like always, it's a toss-up. Do you deal with the airport chaos and hope your flight isn't delayed, or do you brace yourself for hours behind the wheel, battling traffic and burning an entire day of productivity? Well, the third option is a better option, and it's the best option, folks. The Von Lane. You arrive at a luxury hotel terminal, no TSA lines, no long-term parking lots, just a seamless boarding experience that takes minutes, not hours. You settle into just one of just 22 oversized plush leather seats with 140-degree recline, leg rest, and a cabin attendant serving complimentary snacks, beverages, and on select trips, a full meal if you like. And if you need to relax, you can sit back and enjoy the ride. But if you want to stay productive, there's high-speed Wi-Fi and power at every seat. So fall travel is booking fast. So reserve your spot right now for October trips to Texas versus OU, also F1 and ACL in Austin, and college football weekends in Nashville, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston. Von Lane connects Austin, Dallas, Houston, Fort Worth, San Antonio, Nashville, Atlanta, Memphis, and now Knoxville, the Woodlands, and Plano. Visit vonlane.com. That's VONLANE.com and use the code OTF25 to save $20 off your first ride with Vaughn Lane. That's Vaughn Lane Elevated Regional Bus Transportation. Thank you very much to our friends over at Vaughn Lane. And also apologize if you guys can hear the yard work being done right at the time I decided to come outside and record the show. The time I felt it was too hot in Houston to do yard work at noon, but I was wrong. They out here doing it at noon, so I apologize about that as well. But let me get you guys' thoughts. I think we can start talking a little bit of strategy for Ohio State too. And I want to get into this a little bit. Coach, just thinking about that game, two inexperienced quarterbacks going into that Texas-Ohio State game. What are your thoughts about how you get your young quarterback? You get your young quarterback in a groove? Do you lean on a running game? How do you think that game starts out? Is it a feeling out process, or do you think Texas comes out guns a-blazing, for lack of a better phrase?
Yeah, I think the first series you'll probably see some high percentage passes. I think you'll see things that, there's a handful of plays that he can run just anywhere on the field, not in the red zone, but if you got the ball 30-yard line, whatever, and you're 70 yards away, there's a few plays that you have that are like 2-point plays. You feel like they're always going to work. Very high percentage, some type of pick route if they're running man coverage, or just getting into a soft spot in the zone, just things that are high percentage to get his confidence going. I think sooner than later, because I think the first series, everybody's just going to kind of be feeling each other out. I don't see Ohio State just bringing the house and blitzing that first series. And so you might see him try to throw a ball or two downfield if they're not trying to get him rattled. But I think as the game progresses, both defenses will try to do things to get the quarterback rattled a little bit.
Yep. CJ, what are your thoughts about it? Because I've been wondering how this game is going to start, because I think Coach is right. I think both teams are going to try to take away the deep ball. So they're going to give you some underneath stuff and give some easy stuff away just to feel out, because there's so much uncertainty right now. Quarterbacks, O-line, new coordinators for Ohio State. What are your thoughts?
I start to wonder how quickly Sark tests a deep ball. With Caleb Downs, you want to stretch the field with an offensive line who maybe isn't completely ready to face an elite front like that. So maybe you try to alleviate some of those secondary guys from cheating up to about 8 or 9 yards to kind of lengthen that box. And if that's the case, there's no better way to do that than saying, hey, Ryan Wingo, hey, Parker Livingstone, go deep, and we're going to try it early. Now, you're going to need protection for that, but it makes sense if you want to open up some run lanes, get to the second level, and do so with a C.J. Baxter or Trey Wisner. So I wonder if that's part of the game plan. We've seen Sark time and time again. I look back at, 2023 against Houston on the road at Houston. Quinn starts, I think, like 11 of 11. And not a single one of those throws is really beyond about 15 yards. And then finally they hit deep ball to Xavier Worthy down the sideline. You're like, okay, it's all because of the dunk, kind of lull in the sleep, and then boom, hit it over the top. So, Coach, to your point, maybe you do play it slow. Get Arch's confidence up, saying, hey, I know it's a tough place to play. I know you're playing the reigning national champions. So you got to see one go through the hoop before you really start thinking you can go deep. So I've juggled back and forth with both of those ideologies, but ultimately it has to start with that offensive line. And if you're Quinn, look, it wouldn't be – or if you're Sark, it would not surprise me. In fact, I would almost guarantee the first pass attempt of the day is a PA waggle, get out of the box, bootleg out, hit DeAndre Moore on a backside crosser or something on a comeback route. That's what Sark's been able to show a number of times when Arch is coming into the game. It makes a lot of sense to move the pocket and get an easy completion, perhaps even jack injuries in the flat, something like that.
I like that, actually. We've seen that, to your point, CJ. Good. That's a good reference. The last, I want to say, 2 times that Arch has kind of come in the game. Early on, you do see that waggle, him getting out of the pocket, option to run it or to throw it, hitting that crossing route. That's something to bring up, too. I can't wait to see exactly how aggressive each team is going to be early on? Or is that just the feeling out process? Blake Monroe does a great job as well. You should follow Blake on Twitter at Blake Monroe OTF. He put out the PrizePicks, put out their stat projections for Arch Manning versus Ohio State in the first game, gentlemen. So tell me if you take the over or under with these numbers: 239.5 passing yards, 1.5 passing touchdowns, just a half a rushing touchdown, and a half an interception. Over under 239.5 passing yards, 1.5 passing touchdowns, half a rushing touchdown, half an interception. What we take?
Call me crazy, but I like the over on every single one of those.
I do too.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because look, I think a year ago Quinn averaged about 178, 180 yards in the first half alone. We're talking about, okay, maybe if you have more explosivity with the offense this year with Arch, those numbers might improve. I know that you're facing a really good team. I know that you're facing a front seven that's going to keep you under pressure a lot. But look, I think Sark's pretty good at dialing up plays to get guys the ball in space. And I think Texas has enough talent on the outside to catch the ball and then create after the play or after the reception. If that's the case, 240 yards certainly feels attainable. I would say that is the number one little stat there that I feel the most confident in of that group.
Coach, what are your thoughts? Which one you taking the over for both?
Yeah, I'm taking. I don't want to take it on the last one, but I mean he's human, so I'm going over on every one of them.
Yeah, because
I feel good about it. I mean, I really feel good about it.
Yeah, to CJ's point, Quinn, those big, the Michigan game, the Alabama game, obviously not the one he got hurt the first one, but the one in 2023. He went over on all of those categories. Maybe not the interception, but in terms of the passing numbers I'm talking about. And Sark game plans for these big games, we know months in advance. He's got special, really creative, innovative plays that you probably won't see in any other game that he's going to break out versus Ohio State. And some of those will be, predetermined for Arch for guys to be open versus certain coverages. So I just think those kind of plays along will get him to that number, 240 passing yards. I feel good about that. It's a relatively low number. That's enough to win if you got a running game.
Yes.
And there it is right there. You can get on at PrizePicks, use code ontexasfootball, and that's a bet I might make. I don't bet, but I might take that one.
CJ bets a little bit, so CJ probably already made that bet. But
that's kind of what worries me is when you bet a lot and you see a line that looks too good, there's something that you don't know. And then 240 looks like a line that's too good to be true. So I don't know. Maybe Vegas is telling me not to touch this one, but look, I think
talk yourself out of it.
I'm thinking about it a little bit too much right now, Coach.
Yeah, I could tell. Like I said, when you got a gut like me, you go with it.
I like it. I think it's a good number. Okay, let's get to before we get back to the topics here. Let's thank another one of our sponsors for today's program. Once again, I apologize about the background noise. Let's thank our friends over at South Point Dodge. We appreciate South Point Dodge and all of their ongoing sponsorship of On Texas Football. You can score an easy extra point this season when you get to the point with our friends over at South Point Dodge. South Point Dodge has over 600 vehicles in stock right now, including an all-new Ram 1500. You can get the all-new Ram 1500 proven to last and built to last right now with our friends over at South Point Dodge. You can check them out in person off of I-35 in South Austin, or you can go online at southpointdodge.com. Our friends at South Point Dodge also right now have the employee incentive pricing. That means you pay what the employees pay at South Point Dodge. You won't find a better deal than that. That's the real deal, as they call it, at South Point Dodge. So go see them off of I-35, whether you need a new car or a used car, you need a truck, whether you need something, a trade-in to find a possible value on what you have, whatever you need. Our friends at South Point Dodge, they are Austin's automotive everything. So check them out today at southpointdodge.com. Really appreciate them and their ongoing support of On Texas football. All right, gentlemen, I also want to get to this list. ESPN put out their top 100 players list. If you guys got a chance to see this, and we won't go down the entire list, and we won't even get that deep into it. But at number one on this list is the man that Texas will be facing come the kickoff of their first game. They'll be facing Jeremiah Smith. He is number one on this list, the top 100 players. I love the number one and number two on this list. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it. Number two is Anthony Hill. Number one is Jeremiah Smith. Number two, they took best players in college football is Anthony Hill. Number three is Caleb Downs. So the three best players, at least by ESPN's ranking, the three best players in college football will be facing off in that game in Texas versus Ohio State. Let me get you. Yeah, well, how do you stop Jeremiah Smith? You just throw out the same blanket game plan you had last year? Is it just that easy? Or are we talking about more modifications and more adjustments if you're Texas, just take him out of the game and take him away?
Look, I don't think you can take him out of the game any more than what you did in January, right? One reception, 3 yards. That catch came behind the line of scrimmage. They couldn't get him the ball. Now, will Julian Saban be a more accurate passer than Will Howard? I think it's certainly a possibility, but with that pressure that Texas is expected to bring up front, that's going to be a big hindrance to get the ball to Jeremiah Smith. The big thing for me, Rod, is do you feel comfortable enough with Malik Muhammad to play one-on-one if you have to? Does he travel if he moves around the field as well? That we don't know. That we haven't really seen with Texas cornerbacks in the past. And I do think when you saw what Texas did a year ago, whether it be shading Andrew Makuba to the side of Jeremiah Smith, whether it be Jade and Michael Taff, or a Jelani McDonald and a Malik Muhammad working cohesively over the top to kind of tandem Jeremiah Smith, whatever it did, it worked. I think you go back to it, and I think, again, we've talked about it, put your cornerback two, Jalen Gilbo, put Jelani McDonald, just have them double Jeremiah Smith no matter where he goes. And then you can have Carnell Tate covered by Malik Muhammad. That kind of solves your cornerback, your secondary matchup situation.
Hey,
yeah,
Coach,
I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
you can't just ditch what you did last year. I mean, it's probably not gonna, from my experience, he's obviously thought about this game for 8 months. It was an embarrassing night for him. So he's going to come out motivated. I do think we're probably going to see him. They're going to move him around, not let us get our hands on him when he comes off the ball, have guys picking, maybe have him out there in a tight twins out there, have somebody picking, the corner that's on him. They're going to do some things. They're going to change up some things. But I also think that I think you've got Dwayne Akina now looking, and he's had a lot of success in the past shutting down big time receivers. And so I think with his experience and as deep as his tool bag is, did I say that right? He has so many tools in his bag. Okay, I think I'm gonna change this subject, but no, I just think he's gonna have a lot of ideas. He's gonna have a lot of ideas, ways, a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. So I'm going to shut up before I say something stupid.
He's got a deep tool bag. I like it.
Deep tool bag.
Deep tool
got
bag.
A lot of tools.
Oh, yeah. Man. Yeah. I'm not even – I was going to come with a joke, but it's not – no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of going to come back to Major Payne and say he could dig a little deep into his repertoire. Remember Major Payne? That's a great movie. But he was talking about his dance moves.
That is fantastic. Great reference, Coach. But yeah, I mean, I'm with Coach. You can't have the exact same game plan you had last year because they'll be ready for that. But That's why I think I'm gonna throw this out there randomly for both squads. I think both teams may play more 12 personnel than expected. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I know it sounds counterintuitive these days. You want to spread things out. They got the best wide receiving core in college football. Texas obviously works from a spread angle as well with Sark's offenses, but he likes 12, and I think 12 may be a way to help you kind of ease into things and find some easy matchup. Like think about the game last year. What was your best matchup advantage against Ohio State? Jaden Blue.
Yeah.
Jaden Blue ended up being your best matchup advantage, right? You got him on a linebacker twice, done. And it's going to be, to me, with teams that have this much talent, it's going to be that whoever can find that weakness first and find that, that matchup that they can exploit first. And I'm not sure who's going to be able to find it. If they don't respect Wingo enough, Wingo can hurt them too. Those kind of things. But Max Claire's a good tight end. For them, Texas, they match up well. So how the chess match goes is going to be really interesting between the two teams. All right, CJ, I know you got stuff to do. You got work to do, brother. So thank you for taking the time. We appreciate you. Get back to work. Get eyes on them, and we'll be following the tweets.
Tonight?
Yes, right. We'll see CJ tonight. All right.
Happiest hour.
No doubt.
Happiest hour, 5 to 7.
See you, brother.
Join us. About to start.
All right, yeah. So CJ will be out on the road, of course, and so will Coach. We'll be at the happiest hour in Dallas. Come on out if you got some time. It's going to be a great occasion with our friends over at Third and Longhorn. All right, Coach. I got to ask you this too, as a strategist, because you've done it before. You've been a coach season openers. What was the biggest season opener you ever coached? Because this is being hyped as the greatest season opener potentially in college football history, or at least in modern college football.
Yeah, that's a great question.
You ever had any hype on a season? I know there's hype around big games, of course, but
let's see. What year did we open with Notre Dame? 1 year?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that was big. That's hype. There you go. Yeah. That was. I believe you're right about that.
Yeah, typically Texas until CDC came in, Texas typically didn't play these type of preseason games. Maybe once in a while you have one sprinkled in. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to be the best, you got to beat the best.
I'm jealous of these guys for a lot of reasons. I'm jealous because of NIL. I'm jealous because the transfer portal. They got revenue sharing. But I'm also jealous of these big games they get to play. I didn't play in. I'm thinking about it, like against blue blood programs. We didn't get a chance to do that in the non-conference schedule. We played Stanford, I think, 1 year. That was big. We played NC State, big North Carolina. Really good, respectable programs. But I'm talking about bluest to blue bloods, Coach.
I think it's makes you wonder. Well, now we're on a level where we can compete with those teams, but I also wonder if. I also wonder if the money is not a factor, because you've got to have more and more money now to run a football program, and I just wonder if there's in every aspect, and I'm not talking about just your TV advertisers, although that's a huge part of it, but I'll just think about all the merch and everything they're going to sell in this game, and all the publicity the university is going to get. There's going to be a big take in this game. Financially for the university and for the football program, there'd be nobody talking about us playing, no offense, but Stephen F. Austin or, UTEP or whatever, the first game of your number one team in the nation. There's not a lot of hoopla around. We're going to find out real quick, where, if the Longhorns are where they should be ranked.
Yeah. Next show, maybe we'll play guess the ratings and try to see what the rating is TV rating is gonna be for this thing, because it'll be a monster. Yeah. I don't even remember what the viewership was for Texas versus Ohio State last year. We'll look at that and then look at some other big season openers, but then add the arch factor in there, and then add the fact that it's a revenge game. They played last year, defending champions at Ohio State. I mean, the only thing that could pump it up even more would make it prime time, and it's not prime time, which, by the way, is good for Texas and good for Texas.
It's very good. We
Yeah.
talked about that on Coffee and Football a couple days ago. That was a point that I made because I've been there for a night game and we won thanks to VY and Lima Swede and obviously all the other guys. But that catch Lima Swede made and that ball that
was beautiful.
that VY put on him was perfect. And but anyway, could not be a better time to play them. We talked about this before. You're not sitting around a hotel all day watching TV because you can't turn a channel on that has sports related that's not going to be talking about this game, you know. So, and they're used to getting up early, they're used to practicing early. So I think that's a big time value for our team. A lot better than playing at night. I'm everybody's concerned about this game, you know, if we can win this game. But I certainly would be even more concerned if it was an 8 o'clock kickoff instead of it'll be noon their time, 11 a.m. Central Time.
I talked to a couple of fans at the event in Houston, and I talked to VY about it too, who all said the same things, that the Ohio State fans were among the worst they've ever encountered in all of their time as a Texas sports fan. So Longhorn fans who are going, just be warned that stay close to the family. Like, I'm talking about legitimately threatening them. And one guy said it cussed out his kid. It's like 9-year-old kid. They were just cussing him out. VY said they cussed out his grandmama.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I was
like, what's going on?
I was walking by myself. You got where we parked, you had to walk by all the frat houses, and they've been out there drinking all day. And there's a little punk out there and had his arm around his girlfriend, you know, wearing his topsiders and whatever. And anyway, he looks at me and he goes, F Texas, F you. And so anyway, I had my jacket. I threw my jacket down. I threw my bag I had down. And I said, come on, buddy. Come on. I'll go back to prison right now. I don't care. And man, his eyes were so big. He looked at me and so I said, I'm just kidding with you, man. He gave me a hug, tried to give me a beer. He thought I just got out of prison and here I come.
The prison coming, got him through. He's like, oh shit. Ish. I didn't messed up that. It's still, oh man, that's great. I gotta use that one. I don't care about going back to prison. That'll make him think twice.
Yeah, just make sure you do it to a nerdy white guy, okay? Because somebody might say, maybe we could be cellmates. Let's get after it.
Me too, man. I just got out of prison too. It's like, oh no, now we're in trouble. Now I got some issues. Okay, so I was just talking about the rating for at least the viewership, I should say, for last year's Cotton Bowl was 20.6 million, according to this AI overview or Sports Media Watch. So 20.6 million. I'm gonna say, and that was a playoff game. So everything's on the line. Quinn had a connection with Ohio State. I think it's gonna beat that number. I want to say it can beat that number, but we shall see. In season, postseason, always different viewership experiences. All right.
Well, I think it certainly would if it was a night game.
Yes.
Still a lot of fans have to work, but I think a lot of folks will have their phones out streaming it.
Yeah, no, it definitely would be. I still think it could. I'm about to do some comparisons. Next show I promise I'll bring you guys some of the big season ratings or viewership numbers from recent history, and we'll try to see if we can guess what that rating is going to be with the arch factor for Texas. All right, before we dive into another topic, I want to get your thoughts about some of the Longhorns and how they're performing in the preseason, because apparently some of the top performances so far in the preseason have been by some of the Longhorns who just made to the NFL. We'll get to that, but let's thank our friends over at Flat Creek Estate Winery first. We appreciate them and their ongoing support of On Texas football. Flat Creek Estate Winery, folks, just minutes from downtown Austin, and they've won award after award for their vintage wine, Super Texan. We love the Super Texan. I love it. You love it. You guys, we've talked about the award-winning Super Texan here regionally. Well, they entered it into the San Francisco Wine Festival Festival recently, and it actually scored a 98 out of 100. That's right. It was named the top red blend in the country. So not only can they brag about it being the best red blend in Texas, but the Super Texan is the best red blend in the country. I actually had a couple in Houston that hit me up and said, hey, we want to taste other wines from Flat Creek. All we can find is the Super Texan. Well, you can find a Super Texan at your local Specs, at our local HEB. I saw a display at our local Central Market, but you can go to flatcreekestate.com. That's what I told them, and you can go check out all their fabulous wines. They have so many great wines. I love the Pinot Grigio was really good. The Rosé was really refreshing. I got a chance to taste it as well. So they have a lot of great wines, but we talk about the Super Texan a lot. But you can also check out their venue, which is also one of the best venues I've ever been to. It's gorgeous. Have barbecues and wine tastings every single weekend. It's perfect for a day date with your significant other or a weekend getaway with your significant other. That's Flat Creek Estate Winery, flatcreekestate.com. Check it out for yourself, and I'd recommend that you get away. It can be a great staycation, little weekend getaway for you and that very special person in your life. I'm actually in the process of making plans when my mother-in-law comes in town to get wifey out to Flat Creek. I've been trying to do it for a while. It's tough with a 22-month-old, but we're going to get it done because I want to get out there. I want to show her all the great things about Flat Creek Estate Winery. So check it out for yourself. And thank you very much to our friends at Flat Creek for sponsoring the Winning Drive. All right, Coach, I want to get your thoughts about this because I saw this from the New Orleans Saints. They posted it. They're very proud of the pick they've made in Kelvin Banks, as well they should be. And I don't even know. This is what – remember before the draft, there was all this talk about, Kelvin Banks and – did he fit the prototypical tackle size? And could they think about moving him inside to guard when he got to the NFL, all this kind of stuff? Well, Pro Football Focus recently, thank you very much there, Matthew. They had him as the highest graded pass blocking O tackle in the preseason, 88.1. In his debut, he had an 84.9 pass blocking grade, 12 snaps, very few, small sample size, but 0 pressures allowed. And he points out through 2 preseason games, he had 23 pass pro snaps, 0 pressures allowed, 0 sacks, 0 hurries, 0 QB hits with a 90 pass block grade in his first 2 preseason games. So it's crazy how you can overthink it. And maybe that's just the draft analysts who are overthinking it. But this guy's been an elite prospect since he stepped on campus at Texas, started as a true freshman, and really performed at an elite level, very similarly when he stepped on campus at Texas. Didn't allow a lot of pressures and sacks his freshman year, and continued to be an elite pass protector. I think this guy's going to end up being an all-pro sooner rather than later in his career. That's crazy to say, but that's the ceiling for a guy like Kelvin Banks.
Yeah, there's no doubt. It was really a head scratcher when his draft stock started going down, and it's just
crazy.
As you said, people they start overthinking and overanalyzing. They get nervous, and they're afraid that they're going to look bad with their analysis. But what happened was a lot of teams missed on a guy that they should have taken had that mania not started happening before the draft. It was sad, but yes, I'm with you. I think barring a very unfortunate incident with injuries, I think he'll be an all-pro in two years, maybe 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, he was,
and I think he has a potential, to be one of the all-time Longhorn linemen in the NFL.
I agree with that. I mean, he ended his career in Texas as, if not the greatest offensive lineman in Texas football history. He's definitely in that conversation, but just a phenomenal start. It's the preseason. I get it. Very small sample size, but all the pre-draft talk that his game may not translate, that was just insane. And I think he has the numbers now to back that up. Another Longhorn coach that had a really good start to their preseason, Andrew Makuba. Andrew Makuba actually was the highest graded. You go look at it overall. He ended up being the highest graded rookie in week 2 of the preseason. The entire rookie class. He got a 95.
Is he the one that had the pick six?
He did have the pick six. Yeah. At the second quarter, he had a 75-yard interception return. That was his debut, by the way, because he didn't play in week 1 of the preseason. I think he was dealing with like an injury or something like that. He was targeted 3 times. He allowed 1 catch for 18 yards. Finished the game, though, with a 94 coverage grade. But Cooper's going to end up starting for the Philadelphia Eagles, guys. Maybe if it's not this year, then it'll be next year. But he's going to be a starter for the Philadelphia Eagles in the next 2 years. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of the only positions, Coach, where they don't have like an elite all-pro caliber player. Like every other position, Philly's just loaded with talent, and Matthew knows, on defense. And safety is one of the few positions where they don't necessarily have that much elite talent or talented depth. With McCougar, they do. I mean, that guy, that was a hell of a deal to get him in the second round because I think he's going to be a playmaker for Philly.
Yeah, I do too. Too. But, it wouldn't bother me to see him sit for a good part of this season just to kind of get his mind around, what it takes to compete at that level and what he's going to see, what he can expect, a lot of film study. But yeah, I don't even know who the starting safety is for the Eagles. I don't know who's playing behind, but he's going to have to be good. Yeah.
I remember doing the analysis after the draft, and basically that was the only spot where honestly you could even crack the starting lineup on defense for the Philadelphia Eagles because they were so loaded would be at that safety position because Howie Roseman's done such a masterful job of stacking that roster with talent everywhere. Young talent, by the way, a lot of it from Georgia and Alabama on that defense. He likes Kirby Smart, Nick Saban guys. That's just pretty smart too. But now they're starting to like Texas guys. When Howie Roseman likes your type of players, that's a really good sign.
Yeah.
He loves Kirby Smart guys. He loves Nick Saban guys. And now he's starting to like some Texas guys. Going to bring some Texas guys in there. It's really good.
A lot of people are starting to like the Texas guys in the NFL.
Yeah, you're right. Some teams, some traditionally, some brands and some organizations who used to stay away from Longhorn, like the Packers. Packers hadn't drafted a Longhorn in a long time and drafted Golden in the first round. And like I said, the Eagles now starting to draft. I think when you have organizations that are that stable and successful who look at just you coming out of a program, because a program traditionally is producing a certain merit or a class of player, and they say, no, we need to go to Alabama to look for this, or we go to Kirby Smart to look for this. Texas football is starting to produce some players of that ilk. So it's really encouraging. All right, we are going to make this a shorter version of the winning drive just because Coach has got to get on the road. He's heading to Dallas. All right, CJ's got to get on the road, heading to Dallas. So we'll meet all you guys in Dallas at the happiest hour. Hopefully, you guys can make some time. It'd be great to get a chance to meet you guys. It's been great. 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
We got
which is probably about when this show is going to be over with.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Because we had to tape it on the way because we don't want to interrupt. We don't want to interrupt our time with our friends, meet and greet.
We'll be hanging out. Yeah, so the meet and greet will be like 5 to 6, and then we'll have live shows of Third and Longhorn and OTF, and that'll be from like 6 to 8. Somewhere around there, 6 to 8:15, somewhere around there. And then we just kind of hang out and have a good time. So if you are in the neighborhood, I'm not even sure if you can still RSVP. I don't know. Maybe you can try to, like bum rush it. Maybe just try to get on it if you can. But we appreciate everybody who took the time to meet us in Austin and in Houston. Been really fun and looking forward to the Dallas event tonight. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate all of your expertise. Appreciate all the levity as well. Thanks to CJ who's out and about. CJ always doing a great job getting eyes on some of those top prospects. Appreciate Matthew behind the scenes doing a great job. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to Von Lane, vonlane.com. Use that code OTF25 to save $20 off your first ride with Von Lane. Thank you to our friends over at South Point Dodge, southpointdodge.com, and Flat Creek Estate Winery, flatcreekestate.com. For Coach and for Matthew and for CJ, I'm Lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers. Until next time, hook 'em horns.